yesterday.
5 o'clock, call the meeting to order. Gail, do you want to do a roll call?
Sure, Commissioner Allen.
Here.
Commissioner Clutchie.
Here.
Commissioner Race. Here. Commissioner Lucy.
Yeah.
And Commissioner Coleman.
Here. Next item on the agenda is minutes of the previous meeting.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Project updates. Anthony, are you the man of the hour?
I think I'm the man of the
All
hour.
right.
Okay, so the wastewater treatment plant, in your package, you have a copy of the most recent Veolia bill, which we're staying current with our payments. Also attached is a copy of the agenda for the monthly meetings that we attend. The project is moving forward at a good pace. It's doing well. The work is approximately 85% complete. We've been doing work at the wastewater plant on odor control, getting all our systems in line. You know, this summer we've had some complaints and so forth, but the odor control systems are now completed. They're just waiting for testing. And once the testing is done, we should have a pretty tight system at the plant. Also, the contract's been working on its remote pump stations, and the pump stations are coming along. I'm currently working with San Vitale to obtain some agreements for easements for Hollis Road pump station, but once that's completed, we'll start that one. We've completed 4 of the pump stations. We've also, the Hanson Street pump station is the one off the Lynn Way, which is completed. It's also been upgraded to handle the new apartment building that's going up. So that's moving forward, and right now, as I said, the contract is going to be completed in this coming July, and we're on schedule, and it's 85% complete.
Awesome, thank you.
How many pump stations do we have so far?
So we've got 14 in the city, but this contract, we're rehabbing or replacing 11 of them.
Okay.
And those are, we have sewer pump stations and some storm water pump stations. But
Thanks.
we're working on, those 11 are storm water, I mean sewer pump stations.
Thank you.
I can't wait for you. That chair's really dangerous.
Yeah, this, yeah, thank you, appreciate it.
I just wanted you to know.
Is that why you asked me to sit
I
here?
was just. No, Dan always sits there.
Yeah.
Just clarification, because I spoke with some of the ward councilors, and when you say 100% complete, is it really good to go, ready to, or because some of the fences are still there. I mean, it confuses to a lot. So what's the clarification?
The odor control systems are installed. The work at the plant is not 100% complete, just the odor control facilities are. So we will probably be finishing somewhere near July of 2025.
Okay.
But we're almost there. For an example, last month, all the testing for BOD and TSS passed, so the station is up and running well enough that it's handling our flow and our treatment right now. But it won't be complete until July.
Yeah, that's exactly what they mentioned as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Thank you. Rick,
Yes.
water plant updates?
Chairman. Lynn Water and Sewer Commission is in compliance with all federal and state drinking water regulations. The water supply capacity as of yesterday was 44%. The average for this time is 61%. We have opened up discussions with the NWRA, totally precautionary at this point. Looking at where we are, just an example, 2 years ago at this time, we were in the 30s. So every month we were 36%. But we had already turned the page with the precip, the rain had already started, and we were able to get on the Ipswich River pretty quickly in December 1st. So this drought has been a little bit different than usual. It kind of started later, and it's been really extreme. It started off with 28 days without any rain at all, and then it just kind of, little events here and there. So last month we've averaged 1 inch per month, and now we're into this month without any rain, with a storm hopefully coming at the end of the week. So we have opened up discussions with the MWA. We're gonna have a Zoom meeting or meeting in the first week of December, if the pattern hasn't changed, and just we'll exercise the valves. We have, the main interconnection is at Washington Street near Western Avenue, where we have a pressure reducing valve, that we can move the water in if we had to. That would be like a last resort. What we could do is we could put water into Birch Pond early, just not a huge volume, maybe 3 to 5 million gallons, and just try to prolong the drawdown of the reservoirs until the precip changes. But that's still down the road. We're not looking to do anything till probably the end of January, early February, and that's depending, that would be if we just didn't get any rain.
Yeah.
The pattern didn't change. So that's what, so we just opened up discussions now, just to kind of, hey, what are you guys up to, what do you think? And so it's not a panic mode at this point. We're still not in a bad situation. We'd really like to see consistent rain. All 10 of the contract positions are still full at the water treatment plant, so that's worked out well since they implemented that licensing program that they had. And regarding the lead and copper regulations, all the letters went out on November 8th, or the day before that. And there's been a pretty moderate amount of phone calls. The biggest thing right now is people are seeing that they possibly don't know what their service line is, and they don't know what they should do. And we're trying to let them know that this is just the first step in the process. We're letting you know that we did an inventory, and that we found there's 3 categories, and that in the next 3 years, we're gonna develop a plan, and then from that point on, within 10 years, all the service lines will be either inspected or, if need be, replaced. So that's the big thing, is people see that and they get really nervous. But we wanna let them know that we're just letting you know what's going on, and that a lot of work is coming down the road. Because right now, we don't have a mechanism in place to actually replace all the services. You know, we have to see how funding goes. We kind of talked about it in the last meeting. The priority would be get the lead services out and then find out what's in the other service. And then the inventory is an ongoing document. Like, we're already finding addresses that were post-1985 that we know this is copper. You know, but to get that many services in so much time, the main thing was to identify each service and do the best that we could. And now we're just gonna keep working it and knocking it down the best that we can.
So is that the date, 1985, anytime after
There's
that?
a lead ban, it's right around 1985 where you were not allowed to use lead in the water. That's what we're using, and it's right around that time, plus or minus a year.
Any other questions? Okay. Thanks, Rick. Anthony, CSO updates?
Yeah, so at the last meeting, I was discussing how Methuen Construction was going to be doing their testing for the pump station on Phase 3. And National Grid, they're waiting for National Grid to install the telephone poles and the overhead wires and then bring us the transformer. This past week, the poles went up. They ran the overhead wires, so we started to get movement on that. Methuen is doing some ancillary landscaping work and so forth, some sidewalk work, but we're still waiting on the transformer. Once we get the transformer, then we can start doing the testing of the pump station. It's going to be about 4 weeks of electrical work once the transformer comes for the electricians to come in and wire everything. Once that's done, then they'll start to do the testing of the pump station. But we've got some movement. I think Bob Fennell has helped out getting National Grid to move on this. And as soon as we get the transformer, which I think is they're telling us is coming this week or next week. Once that goes in, it looks like we're starting to move forward on that. So that's the good news. The phases 4 and 5, which is the GIOSO contract, which is the installation of the piping work. Currently, GIOSO is working on Bennett Street, which we spoke about last meeting. We had meetings with the business owners. I'm also going to have another meeting in the mayor's office with Jimmy Cardell and the mayor to go over some of the traffic plans to facilitate this work. It's major work. We're installing 1,100 feet of 72-inch pipe. the piping work is as deep as 26 feet. Gioso has been installing dewatering wells. There's 28 of them. They drill the well about 35 feet deep. They have to go 35 feet deep to dewater to get to the 26 feet of dry soil. So those are being installed now. I think they laid their first pipe today. So that work is ongoing. What they'll do is they'll have some pumps that run. They'll be running all the time to get the water out of there, just so they can work in a dry hole. So that's moving forward. Other than that, the ancillary streets in the area, they're also doing work with water mains and sewer and drains, but those are all going forward. But the most difficult work, that 72-inch pipe, is, we're beginning and we're moving. So I think we're starting to turn a corner there too. So that's the update for the CSO.
Thank you. Any questions?
I got a question. That water, is it like, did you know that was gonna happen, or just,
Yes, yep, yeah, it was designed, that's all in the design, they knew that they would encounter that. Prior to this project being designed, they did some borings and so forth, so they knew with so they anticipated this.
okay.
Is National Grid a problem? Are they not cooperating?
So National Grid, for the 72-inch installation on Bennett Street, was an issue with them moving their gas main, but that's been moved, so we're in good shape there. So just, that's done, just the transformer for the pump stations is all we're waiting for now.
Okay, super. Any other questions? Nope. Kings Beach update?
Sure, Kings Beach update. We have Eric Kelly from Environmental Partners here. We're continuing to do work on the $1.15 million contract with BMC. Eric has been in contact with the mayor's office in regards to the $20 million grant that we're looking to get some money for. They had you had a couple emails back and forth with Valerie, and I'll hand it over to Eric if you want to give us an update.
Yeah, so in October we did a little bit of smoke testing, dye testing, and also some dry weather screening. So we're just waiting on the final data to come in from the dry weather screening. We're gonna plan to be out this Friday doing more dye testing canvassing, so basically going door to door, just in places we've already previously notified, so we can keep working down the list of properties that are potentially connected. That's going to continue through the winter as well. We're still challenged by not getting any details for the heavy cleaning we need. We need 2 police details for that work to proceed due to the amount of equipment in the road. So we're hoping with the passage of the usual utility moratorium and road work, which is usually around November 15th, that maybe that might scare up some detail availability of others other than the commission's projects. That's usually when we start seeing lighter need for details, that we can get that work back up and going for the final just under 3 miles worth of drain that needs to be cleaned. As far as the grant goes, on the commission side of that grant proposal, there's monies in there for continued IDD for the next 3 years, some specific provisions for equipment, both field equipment for drain cleaning and inspection, bacteria analysis, camera work, and also there's a provision in there for upwards of $3 million of drain repair and rehab work based on the outcome of this IDD program to date. So that's going in. The mayor's office and Swampscott are seeing to get that grant delivered so that it will support 3 years worth of IDD program for the commission, but also is moving forward on some of the beach Swampscott Lynn joint issues with long-term solutions.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
Good job.
Good list of places you've tested and haven't found anything. Yep. Anthony?
Just one other comment. The last meeting, Andrea from Save Kings Beach was here. She has contacted me. I have a meeting with her Wednesday She wanted, just letting you know that she wanted to come in the meeting.
Thank you.
Yeah, so she's gonna come in Wednesday at 10 o'clock, and she wanted to discuss some of the issues she had encountered. So we figured we'd do it here so we can pull plans and so forth.
Nice.
So that'll happen on
Thank you.
Wednesday.
Yeah, the good thing with Lynn though is we're very, it's easy for them to have meetings with us, where they have difficulty with other, organizations or, local units, so thank you, we can keep that up.
All right, so, moving on to business. First out on the agenda is continuation of non-union, non-contract employee adjustment. We need to go into executive session for this. Someone remind me how to do that? Someone make a motion.
I'll make a motion, we go into executive session.
Second,
Union,
For-
non-union contract.
Non-union
Discuss the
contract?
non-union contract.
Yes. All in favor?
aye,
Aye.
You gotta tell us who you want in there.
So, okay. Board members, Sam, Bob,
Anthony.
Anthony, sorry, he's right there, yes. That's it. All right, then we'll do that. Time in is 6:08, no votes were taken in executive session. Next order of business?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion. After discussions with fellow members, I'd like to make a motion to make an adjustment of 5% for non-union, non-contract employees' salaries and have it retroactive to January 1st, 2024.
Second.
Discussion.
We discussed it all.
We discussed it in executive session, yes. This reflects, I think, some of the significant impacts inflation has had on employees' wages, as well as our efforts to remain competitive with hiring and retaining qualified staff. Any other comments? All right, roll call, probably.
Commissioner Allen?
yes,
Commissioner Clucci?
Yes.
Commissioner Grace?
Yes.
Commissioner Lozey?
Yes.
And Commissioner Solomon?
Yes. All right, contract renewal.
I make a motion to extend the contracts of both the executive director and deputy director per their request letters included in our commission packages.
Second.
Seconded, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Allen?
yes,
Commissioner Clucci?
Yes.
Commissioner Grace?
Yes.
Commissioner Lozey?
Yes.
And Commissioner Solomon?
Yes. Thank you. Any new business?
I have a couple, Mr. Chair.
Sure.
I'll make this very quick. Can anyone here explain or update us about the water shortage problem in the city? How, why, any timetable, why it's happening?
On the capacity of the reservoirs, you mean?
Correct.
As far as, yeah, so right now, we are at 44%. The average for this time of year is 61%.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, if we look at what certain key factors that we looked at, we could be looking at possible needing MWRA assistance by mid to late January, with the early February timeframe.
Mm-hmm.
We've had an inch of rain in October, an inch of rain in September, 2 inches of rain on August, so, and then 2 inches of little plus since July, so we've been below normal since pretty much June on. Now, normally, when we have a drought like this late in the year, there's a positive, is that no one's using outside water. This case, the negative is that there's literally no water available. And the other positive part of this is December 1st, we usually can go to the Ipswich River to pump water, as well as use Saugus River diversions. Right now, there's no water to pump in the Ipswich River, so we need about 40 CFS, which is roughly about 27 million gallons in the Ipswich River, and then when we pump it down by 13 or 14, we still leave 10 that we can use. Right now, there's like less than a CFS at the gauge that we use. So unless the weather pattern changes and we get rain, then we are gonna possibly approach the threshold where we might need assistance from MWRA. At this time, I don't see that happening, but I think right now that we should conserve as much water as possible. Like I said, the fact that people are no longer watering their lawns is a positive side of it.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, can I motion to see if we can add updates on our future agendas about the water situation in Lynn?
Sure.
Just a quick update like that would be
Yeah,
very
can add to the
important.
agenda, sure.
And second new business is some residents are receiving letters coming from us about the situation of their water, the condition of their water. It's not safe, whatever bacteria is there. I'm not really particular, but these are messages that was emailed to me. I think it's very isolated to individual areas. Can somebody
Okay, so
highlight that?
What happened is part of the lead and copper regulation, we had to submit the letters at the commission. I think I gave copies to the board the
Yeah.
last meeting.
Yeah.
So part of the new lead and copper regulation was we had to complete an inventory of all the services in the city. And we had to determine whether it was lead, galvanized, certain galvanized pipe and shut-off lead, or if it's unknown or non-lead. So as a result of this, it was all 20-something thousand cards we had to go through. We had to bump it against construction records that we had. And we found that we had to send out about 10,000 letters. Majority of them were of an unknown, that we didn't know what the service line was. So what the law says, in the next 3 years, we have to develop a plan to investigate what the material is. If it's lead, then the following 10 years, we have to remove 10% per year, so that at the end of 10 years, starting from 2027, there will be no lead in any of the service lines. So what we found was going through the tie cards, we found, like, say a home was built in 1920, and it said like wrought iron pipe, so forth. If the pipe was changed out in 1945, the contractor didn't write what material he listed, replaced the line with. So therefore, we have to say it's unknown. So that's what we're running to. So within the next 3 years, we will develop a plan, and we will look to identify all those unknown services. And there's different procedures to do it. There's DEP and EPA coming up with modeling. There's physical test pits where you dig section like right around the box, and you see what the line is going towards the home, what's going towards the main. And there's also, we reached out to the homeowners to kind of look at your pipe coming into the basement and tell us what you have, and we can walk you through that, through CDM Smith as our consultant. So I have received, myself personally, probably like 20 phone calls, and that's pretty much what I've been telling the public. The first step is to notify, then develop a plan, and then identify and replace. All over the next, it's 13 years process from there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question. I had a resident ask me about, like, the soot and the ash from the fires and all that. Does that affect the filtration of the water?
Most of that, right now, none of it's run off. The fire was really bad. It burnt all the way to the shoreline from the golf course all the way right across to like Pennybrook Road. When the water runs off, the soot will run, but most of it will settle pretty fast, and then that just settle, like, almost like the reservoir acts like a clarifier, if you will.
Yeah,
Sediment comes in, it'll just settle out.
go down.
But the treatment plant itself, with the filtration, would be moved. But anytime coming off a drought, when we actually use most of our water that's been sitting over time, we bring it in, the river water and the rain runoff, it's a little bit harder to treat the water during the winter, fall, winter.
When's the last time we had to rely on the MWR?
When we swapped the cover out in 2015, that was the only time
That's the last time.
of
yeah.
record that I'm aware of. But like I said, what we don't wanna try to have the MWA supply the whole system. What we would try to do if we had to is put some water into Birch Pond and just prolong the drop down in the reservoirs so that we wouldn't have to do the whole system.
Right. I get it.
If I can just add one more thought to that. To purchase water from the MWRA, they're about $5,000 per million gallons. If we use 10 million a day, it's 50,000 a day. 30 days in a month, that's $1.5 million.
Is that a
So if we-
wholesale discount or
So
what?
that is not. That's the rate that every municipality that they supply pays. So
Wow.
if we have to go to MWRA, it's gonna be extremely expensive.
Thank you, thank you.
You wanna do some rain dances?
Yeah. All right, nothing else, meeting's adjourned, or do we have to vote on that?
Motion to adjourn?
Oh, there you go. I'm sorry.
Say I second that.
Everyone go away.